Well, hello everyone. This is Joe's Drum Shop. Welcome back to another episode. This is episode 6. We're almost nearing the end of the book. We're actually on page 38 right now. We're going to be talking about the joys of toys. And what I mean by toys are different things that you can add to your existing kit. Now, usually the basic kit that we always talk about, especially in this book, is the 5-piece kit. Now, if you go buy a kit online or wherever you go to the store, this is actually a 5-piece kit. Now, what I mean by a 5-piece kit, because it looks like there's more pieces than just 5, obviously, but you always count the drums, you don't count the cymbals. Sometimes the more expensive drum sets, you don't get the cymbals with it. You have to buy those separately. So the 5-piece kit actually consists of basically the bass drum, the 3 toms, sometimes 2 toms, and the middle one's not here. Or, of course, like this, you have the 2 toms up on the bass drum, 1 floor tom, the snare, and the bass. So that's your 5-piece kit. Then as far as cymbals, you can get what you want. Now, usually, if you buy an inexpensive kit, maybe $200-300 or whatever they usually go for, you have a hi-hat that usually will come with it, and maybe a crash cymbal. I think that's what my first set was. It came with a pair of hi-hats and a crash cymbal. Again, very inexpensive cymbals, but again, the more expensive cymbals there are out there, you could kind of go hog wild with different types of, different cymbals. But the main ones that you want to always remember to get are obviously the hi-hat, the crash cymbal, the ride cymbal, and maybe another crash. Now sometimes, because I have 2 crashes here, a lot of people wonder, well, why do you have 2 crashes? Well, if I'm on this side of the drum set and I'm playing, I have a crash I can go to really quickly here. If I'm on this side of the drum set, I can actually get to this crash cymbal over here. So it's really nice to have 2 crashes. Some guys will go with the same sizes. I prefer to go like one smaller here, then the next bigger here, and then of course the ride cymbal. So basically that's how the setup is. Now, the joys of toys, what I'm talking about in this book, you can add a tambourine, you could add a cowbell, you could add other what they call special effects cymbals. Special effects cymbals means these are not special effects, these are your main cymbals, but you might add like a china or a splash cymbal. Those are extra cymbals that you can add, and they make a different sound than what you already have. So it's not going to sound all the same. You want, just like you're painting a picture, the more colors you have, the more your picture is going to come out more beautiful. And the same thing with the drum set. The more cymbals that you have, or the more toys, cowbells and stuff, you have more sounds, and it gives a little bit more interesting sounds to your ear, okay? Or to the audience that you're playing for. So that's what the joys of toys are, okay? Now we're on lesson 12 right now, and we're going to be talking about the different parts of the songs. So when we play a song, whether it's like the Beatles or the Stones or whatever band you're playing, every song that they do, famous people, they have different parts of the song that we're going to talk about. Now the first one, usually, the beginning of a song is called the introduction. Now, it could be a lot of different ways. You could have the drums start the song, you could have the guitar start the song, or you could even have the vocalist start the song. There's a lot of ways you can do the introduction, okay? Then the next thing is the verse. Now, this is the part of the song where the drummer will kind of set back a little bit and let the singer play and sing his song. And so that way, if you're playing too loud, you can't hear what he's singing. So you want to bring the volume of the drums down during the verses. And this doesn't go for every single song, but for most songs, you want to do that. The next thing is the chorus. Now, the chorus is the part of the song that repeats over and over again. And then you'll come back to maybe another verse, and then do another chorus, and so forth, okay? Then the next one is called the bridge. Now, the bridge is neither the sound of a verse or a chorus. It's a little bit different sounding, so it makes the song a little more interesting, so it's not the same thing over and over and it gets very dull. Although some songs don't have bridges, and that's fine. They're usually shorter types of songs. Maybe back in the 50s and the 60s, the songs were maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes long, not much more than that, and that's what it called for, is maybe an introduction, a verse, a chorus, and maybe an outro. And we're going to get to what the outro is in just a minute. But the other thing that you can add to a song is what they call a solo. Now, it depends on, of course, who's playing the solo. A lot of times it's the guitar player playing the guitar solo in rock music. So that's going to be another part added to the different parts of the song. Now, not every song has a solo, so it depends on, what type of song it is. Is a solo going to work for the song, or is it going to kind of destroy the song? So it depends on, and you have to decide for yourself what you want to do with it. So, and then the last thing, like I was mentioning, is called the outro. So, we have the introduction, we have to get out of the song. Now, back in the early days, and still every once in a while in these days of recording, they do what they call fade outs. And fade outs are actually the song will keep playing, and then it'll just slowly fade out, and you'll barely hear it until you don't hear anything anymore. And that's the end of the song. But sometimes you want to start the song with an introduction. You play through all the different verses in the chorus, maybe a guitar solo, maybe a bridge, and then now you're doing the last chorus, and then you have to have an outro. So sometimes they might throw in, the drummer might do something real fancy and add a little da-da-da-da-da, boom, crash. And a lot of times crashes are good for the end of a song. So, again, it doesn't matter which crash you hit. It just, at the end of a song, you might want to crash. So let's say something like if I was playing a beat. And that would be like the outro of the song. Just for an example, okay? All right, that was page 39. So we're on 39 right now, and we're going to be switching over to the next page. And now we're going to start putting some songs together. Now, they've got 3 different songs that we're going to be talking about today. One's called Changing It Up number 1, Change It Up number 2, and Changing It Up number 3. But we're going to break these down individually. So the first one is very simple. It basically has a verse. It has a chorus. We're going to go back to the chorus, and then we're going to end the song with a crash, just like I was mentioning before earlier. So let's break this down. Now I'm going to have the music up on the screen. We're actually on page 40. And again, we're in this book called Fast Track Drums 1. It's put out by HAL Leonard. And so if you don't have the book, you can get it at pretty much your local store or online somewhere. All right, so the first thing, it starts off with this is kind of like a real slow, kind of a ballady song. A ballad song is kind of something like a love song. It's very kind of not too fast, not too slow. It's kind of softer. It's not real heavy rock. So that's how this one's going to go. I'm going to break down the song. I'll play it slowly, and then we'll play actually with the song. So you're going to hear the song. This is some just random song that they made up to sound like something else. It's not, one of those. It's not a famous song or anything, so it doesn't matter as far as like copyright infringement. Okay. So a lot of times you're playing stuff on YouTube and you can have that problem of copyright infringement. If you're playing a Beatles song, boom, it's going to get taken down. But these songs here are just for the book, and it doesn't matter. So, okay, so first of all, we're going to play the verse. This is how the verse sounds. This is the first line. It's going to repeat 3 times, and then it's going to change a little bit with the hi-hat opening. I'll explain that in just a minute. So the first measure is 1 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Now the second line is going to be where the hi-hat opens up on the and of 3. So that's going to sound like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I'll do that again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then right from there we're going to crash, and then we're going into another type of beat, but the same thing, but we're just kind of adding a little bit more to it with the crash there. So here's what it's going to sound like. I'll play the second line all the way through. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and. All right, and the third line now is actually a repeat of the last measure we just did, so I'll do one more of those. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. And then here comes the big fill. So it's going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Notice I added the toms to make it a little more interesting. I went and 4 and. Okay, so high tom, medium tom, floor tom. Again, let's break that down. I'll play it again one more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And we're going to crash. And this time we're going to go to the ride cymbal. So for the verses we were doing the hi-hat. And for the chorus now, it'll be the ride cymbal. And that's usually a lot of songs will go. They'll do the verse so it's nice and quiet. And then later on, they'll break it open with a ride cymbal, okay? So I'll do that fill again, and then we'll crash, and then we're going to go to the ride cymbal. And the snare will end up on beats 2 and 4 now, because the last beats that we've been doing since the song started was the snare drum was only on beat 4, okay? All right, so here's that fill. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Now, we're going to keep going again. This time you'll notice at the end of that, just before the last measure, there's a double bar, double dot. When we talk about a double bar, double dot, it means to go back to the last double bar, double dot, which we saw at the first part of the chorus. You can see that as it comes in here, it's a double bar, double dot, and that's where the crash with the bass goes into the ride cymbal. So we got to play that one more time. They want us to play the chorus twice. That's why they're doing that. Now, the reason why they use that repeat sign is so that we don't have to put this on a whole nother page. Because if we did, we would run out of room on this first page, and it would have to be at a second page. So the writer figured out a way to use the repeat so that you don't have to write all this other stuff out again because it's the same thing, you're just repeating. All right, so let's do the chorus. This is going into the second time in the chorus, and then we'll go right to the crash. So here we go. Ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, and crash. All right, that's pretty much the song. So I'm going to get the song queued up here, and we're going to play that. And it's going to have a 4 count. So what that means is that it'll start with a little 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to start with the song. So that way it cues me up to start right with the song. So that's what you can practice. Now, this song comes in the book. It's free of charge. Sometimes they come on a CD, or sometimes you can punch in a little code, and you go onto the website and you punch in a code, and it'll give you all the songs that are in the book so that you can play along with them. Okay, so this is what I'm playing right now, and I'll get started in just a second here. All right, and we're getting ready to play the song, so here we go. All right, as you can see, not too bad. Pretty easy to do. Like I said, you just got to follow the music. I would urge you to play the music, get comfortable with it before you play along with the song, because you can get messed up, or you might have a mistake. And the thing is, if you do play with the song and you play and you make a mistake, just keep going, get to the end, and then try to do it again. It's good always to start at the beginning and try to play it all the way through, instead of working on a spot and then, sometimes that's good too. Sometimes you need to work on just one spot. You can practice it without the music, get that spot down until you get it comfortable, and then try to play along with the song again, and you're good to go, okay? All right, we're moving on to the second song, which is called Changing It Up number 2. This is a little more involved now, okay? So we're going to add, it's going to have the verses, it's going to have choruses, it's going to have a guitar solo, and then it's going to end with a nice little big drum fill, and then it'll end with a crash again, okay? So I'm going to break this down. Again, it's 4 lines, just like the last one, but it's, like I said, it's a little more busier. So let's break it down here. So this one here, you're going to start off 1 and 2. Let's start it again. 1, 2. I'll count it off. Ready, go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and. Okay, so that's the first line. Again, it's a little busier, like I said, from the last one, but we're going to break it down slowly. I'm going to make sure that you understand what I'm doing. Second line, it's going to add a little double snare with the left stick here. So we're going to play that, just that one measure, and this is just going into the chorus, okay? So it'll start like this. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2, 3, 4, and up. Okay? I'll play that once again. Ready, go. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and go. Now, there's no crash. Sometimes I'll even catch myself. I'll play a crash and then go to the ride cymbal or whatever it's telling me to do. Just by habit, because sometimes I always have a habit of splitting the chorus and going to the verse or whatever and crashing and going to the ride cymbal. Just kind of a habit thing. But this one goes to the chorus, and we're doing the ride cymbal, but no crash yet. So this is how the ride cymbal starts with this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 2, 3, 4, and. Okay, I'm going to play that once again. I'll play it slow, and we'll see how this sounds. 1 and 2, 3, 4, and. All right. Next one, it's going to do the same thing, but it's going to add another snare drum. So let's take a listen to how this one sounds. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2, 3, 4, and. Notice it does 2, 4 and, 4 and. It does 2 eighth notes right on the snare with the ride cymbal. Third line, we're on the third line already. We're still going to play that same beat we just played on the second line, the middle one. It's right where the chorus starts, and it sounds again like this. 1 and 2, 3, 4, and. And then, just like the last one we did, we're going to play that again. So here's what it sounds like. I'll play it one more time with the double snare at the end. 1 and 2, 3, 4, and. All right, next. Guitar solo. This is the guitar solo section, so it's going to get a little busier because the guitar solo is going to be a little bit busy. So we kind of want to go along with him in this particular case. Here's what this one sounds like. I'll play it slow. 1, 2, ready, go, and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and. I'll play that again. 1, 2, ready, go, and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and. All right. Last one. We're actually going to play that same measure twice, actually 2 more times is what I mean to say. And then we've got a big fill at the end, and here's the fill. So it's 1 and 2, 3 and. We're going to go to the middle tom because it's on the line. It's going to go 4E and then crash at the end, okay? So let's play that whole thing again. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2, 3 and 4E and a crash. All right, I'm going to play that whole last line just again so you can hear that beat and then do the fill at the end. So it's 1, 2, ready, go, and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and a crash. All right, let's try this one out. I'm going to pull it up, and we'll get this one going. And this is changing it up number 2. And then again, it'll start with 4 clicks, and then we'll get right into the song. So here we go. All right, I'm going to play that because it went kind of fast, and I'm going to play it again so you can see it, and we'll try it one more time just so you can see the visual of it, okay? Here we go. We'll try it one more time. Just like that. Okay, let's go on to our last one. This is called Changing It Up number 3. This one kind of reminds me a little bit more of like a Motown beat. You know, I think of kind of like a, you know, something from, you know, I keep working my way back to you, baby. That kind of a, you know, that kind of a beat to it. Because the snare drum is playing with the hi-hat on all 4. They're just constantly doing this. Later on in the song, it's going to play 8th notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then the snare will play with quarter notes, like that. All right, so let's break this down. So first line, 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and. So it seems like wherever the snare is and the hi-hat, the bass drum is kind of between those, keeping that beat, you know, alive, so to speak. All right, then the second line, we're still continuing that same pattern, which is doing 1 and 2, 3 and 4. And then right here on the chorus, is going to be the ride cymbal, and we're still kind of playing between that bass drum. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's actually line 2 there. Now, what we just got done playing on the hi-hat, that was the verse, and then when we switch to the ride cymbal, again, that's going to be the chorus. Again, that happens a lot in songs for a drummer to play. Now, this also has a keyboard solo, or I should say a solo, but instead of the guitar, it's going to be playing a keyboard solo. And again, still keeping the pattern, it'll go back to the hi-hat during the keyboard solo, because we want to hear the keyboard solo this time without having the ride cymbal get in the way of it. Sometimes the ride cymbal has a tendency to get kind of louder, and it kind of walks on, you know, either a vocal line or, you know, in this case, a keyboard solo. So we're going to play the hi-hat to keep it quiet, and we go through, and then we just kind of build it up at the end, and we play the hi-hat, snare, and bass together, and just kind of doing 3 and 4 and we don't crash. We're just going to add one more hi-hat, snare, and bass, pop, and that's the end of the song. So let's kind of walk through this whole song without the music, and then I'll put it with the music, okay? So 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, that's what it's going to sound like. Let's get this one up and running, and I'll kind of play along with this and give you that kind of that Motown sound, okay? Right from the Motor City. All right, here we go. Changing it up, number 3. And again, it'll start off with a click to kind of get you in time so that you can start the song together. Here we go. All right, there you have it. So we got those 3 songs done today. We're going to kind of end it with that right there, and we'll see you guys on the next show of Joe Drum Shop. And we'll basically be talking about a few more songs. The songs are going to get a little bit more involved next time. So we'll kind of break those down again and play along with the tracks, and we're going to have a really good time. We're going to have a lot of fun, and I'll kind of make it as easy as possible. But until then, if you guys have any questions, or feel free to drop a comment at joedrums1@comcast.net. I would love to hear from you. Again, let me know if you like the show, if you're enjoying it. If you have any questions or comments about anything, I will be more than happy to help you. But we'll see you on the next show of Joe's Drum Shop. And you guys take care, and we'll see you again real soon. Keep rocking. Here we go.